Well, good morning and welcome back to another fishing adventure. It's very cold this morning, so icy all the way here. I had to get the passport out, I had to get past border security, and I'm out west today. It is a lovely morning, it's absolutely flat calm, but I've decided to come up to our northwest coast just in search of anything this morning. Come out, find some run, and I'll actually come to a place where I know there are a lot of bait fish holding. This time of the year, the gannets are always in the run. There's still a little bit of swell rolling in, as you can see. It says 0.3 to 0.6. To be honest, it's not that bad. It's just on this point. Makes it look a lot worse than what it is. But on the back of this rock where I'm gonna go, we should be totally fine, nice and high up. I'm gonna wait for this swell to pass. We're gonna get into this and let's go fishing. Yeah, boy. Oh yes, mighty fine. As I was saying, some gannets here patrolling on the point already. Look at this, beautiful. Right, let's get into this. Start off with, I'm actually gonna fish soft plastic, white. Water's a bit cloudy, just because the sun's not come up yet. Might be a bass around, you never know. And then what we'll do is we'll get into some metals. As I was saying, I'm fishing a Weston W8. This one's a little bit heavier, 12 to 42 gram, 4,000 reel, 20 pound braid, 20 pound leader. Just gonna have a little go, see if there's any fish in this area. I don't really use this rod much, but I'm giving it a go this morning just because it gives me the opportunity to fire out metals a bit further. And usually, oh, there's dolphins in the run already, dolphins everywhere. Means there's bait fish around. Must mean there's some fish about. It's a beautiful morning. Sun's not risen yet. I love being out at this time in the morning. I have had a few blanks recently, but it really doesn't bother me. Being out here is what matters. There are so many gannets around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're here for a reason. So fingers crossed there are some fish about. Try this soft plastic to start. Oh, I just had a knock there. These are the odd waves that I've got to deal with. Look at that, I wouldn't want to be on that point. Yeah, as I say, I'm going to just try with a soft plastic just before the sun really comes up. Work it around here just in case there are some predatory bass just cruising around. A lot of time when there is bait fish around present, usually there is a predator or two, but sometimes it can be also hard to catch those predators because they're so locked in on bait fish. I've got a fish. Oh, I just had a fish anyway. Just had a fish. So my first bite, proper bite in the morning then. Right. So I've just had a little flick with this small white soft plastic. As I was saying, just before the sun comes up, nice to have a little go in the white water, in the wash, in the swell, over the reef, just in search for a basil. But I had one nice hit, probably was a small bass, but nothing really came from it. I'm just watching all of these birds and dolphins working. So my plan this morning was actually to come out, fire some metals into the run and just see what's about, because what's happening out there is more than likely they're chasing bait fish, and that just starts a whole process. Small bait fish, big bait fish, you name it, they're there. So got my lure box, and what I'm going to do is I am going to put on a metal, maybe something like a Pathfinder. But I think this morning I am going to start with a Savage gear, like so. Now, small little tip. When fishing metals, your lure tends to spin in the water, like so. So if you just put a conventional clip on it, it's going to spin your braid up. So what I like to do is, let me just take this lure off the clip and just clip this on, like so. I've got my clip, but above it I've got a little barrel swivel. Hope you can see that. And that lets the lure spin and not spin your braid up. Little tip when you're whacking metals out. And fingers crossed we can get into some fish. No promises, but you just never know. Metals are really good to... Oh, the dolphins are wild out there. What are the white and black dolphins called? I don't know. If you know what those kind of dolphins are, leave a comment down below, because I don't really know what they are. I can get some serious distance with this metal. It's the best thing about a metal. You can cast it as far as you want, sink it and draw it at the depth that you want it, but also you can cover a serious amount of ground. Fish on. Oh, I had a fish then, first. Just had a fish on then. Unsure what it was. Well, I definitely just had a nice bite then. I'm not too sure what it was. Fingers crossed there are others about. The dolphins are right in front of me. Just nice. Once you locate some fish, usually you can just start hammering them, but at the moment finding it hard to locate them, maybe because there's so much bait in front of me. They're on the move. Right, I've been fishing with this shaped metal. I'm going to go for a different shape, I think. Reason is, different metals do different things, obviously. If you're new to metals, as I was saying just before, great to cast out, great to cover ground. Everything goes for a metal, to be honest. It just acts like a bait fish. With these Savage gears, they flutter. You cast it out and it kind of just shimmies down and flitters and flutters and does all of that kind of stuff. People use them for bass in the surf as well. I've never really been a fan of that kind of technique, but it does work. What I'm going to go for now though is something called a Pathfinder, 40 gram. Now as you can see, the profile of this metal is a lot different to the Savage gear. This one's much thinner. I think this is classed as like a knife metal or a knife jig. This will cut through the water. This will drop down really quick, whereas this will, you know, the surface area of this metal will just flicker and flutter. This is going to sink much quicker. I'm going to go for a different colour as well, even though I've had a few bites on that. I had that fish on just before, but it came off. Maybe it wasn't hooked properly in the mouth. You just never know. Sometimes with pollock, they tend to shake the hook quite quickly if you haven't got a really good hook set. So I'm going to go for a different colour and a different metal, and just fingers crossed we can get you guys a fish, because there's nothing worse than coming out early in the morning and blanking. But to be honest, I don't really care. Again, little clip, super easy. Let's go fishing. Right, like I was saying, flutter, knife jig, two different jigs, both do different things. This one's actually a little bit heavier, so it might go a little bit further. It's still within the casting weight of my rod, 42 grams, so this one's going to sink a lot quicker. Also, when you're bringing it in, it'll feel different on your rod, won't give as much vibration. Fish on, yes! Oh, it's off again. What is going on? Well, I just had another fish on and it come off. Fish on, yes! Oh, it's off again. What is going on? Hook's still there, still sharp. That's the third fish I've had this morning where it's come off. And it's not the same lure as well. Very strange. Well, this morning's been a morning of missed opportunities. I've been working these metals really hard. Thought I had a fish there again. A lot of the hits I'm getting are really far out. Hence why I'm using a bigger metal to get it all the way out there with a heavier rod. It's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. It's a beautiful morning though. So fishy. To be honest, I've not really seen the gannets in front of me bomb as hard as I have seen them here bombing. They're definitely interested. I'd love to get over to this point here, but because of the swell that's driving over this rock, it's just not viable. I'm staying nice and put here. Always be safe. Don't put yourself in danger. Not worth it. Beautiful area this. You can see the swell pumping in here. It'd be nice to try in there for a bass, but small tide today doesn't really tickle my fancy. There's not really much water moving through this area. If you come here on a bigger tide, the tide pushes right through here. Great spot to get some mackerel. Had bream here on the lures as well. Blank, blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank. Let's go.
Well, fishing is a funny old game. You win some, you lose some. You can be in the best spot in the world, everything going right, but the fish sometimes just do not turn on. But don't worry, I have another plan. I'm gonna go somewhere else, using the same kind of lures, metals, flicking them around, and let's see if we can get a bend on the rod.
Well, first cast of this session coming in. We're on a north coast mark. It's absolutely bloody beautiful, and I'm using one of these HTO metals, 30 gram. Just cast it out and I'm just going to bring it in slowly, bumping it off the bottom. See if there's anything in this area. Fish on! First cast. First cast. On a metal. Wow, great start. What a start! Oh, it's bouncing around. I don't know what it is. It's got a bit of weight to it as well. I really don't know what it is. We'll wait till we see some colour. Oh, pollock! I'll take that. Beautiful. I've not caught a pollock in so long. Taking on that HGO metal, you just can't go wrong on that. We've been fishing for about an hour, we've not really had anything, and Ben's now using a little metal just to cover some distance and to cover as many areas, actually targeting a pollock, and we've caught ourselves a nice little battle to start. Oh, he's gonna... There you go, Benny. Nice little fish to start off, for taking that little metal, probably feeding on bait fish like sprats that are around this year. But nice, Ben.
Nice,
lovely
man.
fish. First fish of the first bass of the year for you, and well, for us. So lovely. I'll let you. You want me to take it out?
Yeah.
There you go, Benny boy. Get in there. Well, it took a little while to find some fish, and this is actually a fish that I've not caught for a while, and albeit it's not too big, but this is a pollock. Taken on the irresistible Savage Gear Seeker, fished nice and deep. I did think it was a mackerel, but these things have been kind of off the boil in the last few years, maybe overfished or moved to colder waters, but that's the first pollock I've caught in a long time. A beautiful little fish. Sunrise is, or the sunset is behind me, and you cannot go wrong. There you go, beautiful fish, you cannot go wrong with that.